Well, it is good to see you there, warm and comfortable, -2 and getting colder here. It's going to be a very, very chilly night for Everton. As you say, the pressure is off though. It's a night for them to really relax and enjoy this evening. Let's get confirmation then of the way the Everton team are lining up tonight, the side that David Moyes has chosen. Remember, 7 of the players that played at the weekend are not involved. They have been left at home, but in that 11 there's still plenty of pedigree. The old war horses, Carsley and Gravison together again in midfield. Anachabi and Andy Johnson could be an interesting partnership up front. And these are David Moyes' thoughts on his team selection. He's been talking to Dave Beckett.
David, you've left a few players at home, but there are plenty of experienced players in this lineup tonight. Just tell us about the lineup.
Yeah, well, we've been able to get a decent side out, and hopefully that'll go on to get us a good result. We've changed it around, even the way we're playing tonight, so we'll have a look at it and see how it goes.
Can you give us a rough idea of how you might play it?
Well, we'll try and play with 2 forwards tonight, and we'll let James McFadden play behind them a little bit as well. So it's an attacking lineup, and we'll see how that goes to start with. AZ will be very good on the ball. We'll need to do well when we're not in possession. But I think that we've got opportunities to score when we do get the ball.
Briefly, a good chance to experiment.
Well, it is, and it's a chance for us to try things as well. You know, it's a game where, as we all know, we've qualified tonight. We do want to win if we can, but we want to keep the run going. We're on a decent run just now, but nevertheless, we need to make sure that everybody's fit and ready for the up-and-coming Christmas period.
Well, RZ are missing one of their star men. Aris, the Brazilian forward, is serving what is the 3rd of a 3-match ban, but the number 18 Dembele is a man to watch, though he has been struggling with a groin injury of late.
Yeah, well, as Alkmaar, they'll be nice and strong. Obviously got a great home record, but you know, if they're going to cause Everton problems, if Dessou and Pognoli actually squeeze into midfield, play very, very narrow, we allow the fullbacks, Stenson, who was a target for Middlesbrough at the start of the season but couldn't agree terms, I've told them to get forward, and it's who's going to deal with them as soon as they've got to shut the cross in midfield, Everton, to deal with that, because they don't allow the fullbacks to get there, because that means they're going to be stretched across the back. So that's one area that maybe AZ can really cause Everton problems.
Well, they started the UEFA Cup adventure right here on 5, so fitting that we're here to see Everton safely through to the knockout stages. It's a rare night for Everton in Europe, one to enjoy rather than endure. Sit back and hopefully we will be entertained. We're being entertained here at the moment by a party atmosphere inside the ground, and it has spilt out onto the pitch as well. As you can see, the balloons that are being thrown down, the deflated balloons that are being thrown down, having to be cleared away. Paper as well having to be cleared away by our Turkish referee before we can get underway. They're up for this tonight, aren't they, the Alkmaar fans? Make no mistake about that.
Well, I think wherever you go in Europe, in Belgium and in Holland, they do make a noise, and it's a build-up to the match, and it's all helped by the little razzmatazz before the game. But a great opportunity for Everton. Like you say, they can relax, but they'll be full of confidence, on a good, rich vein of form, so they'll be looking to score goals.
It is a night for keeping warm. We're not too bad inside this stadium where we're sitting down, because there are heaters in the stands here, as you often find at Dutch grounds. There are heaters in the stands, in the roofs, which keep the fans fairly warm. But as you saw there, the delayed kick-off and 1 or 2 players running around making sure they could keep themselves warm. An early chance there for Choma, the German, but the flag was up fairly quickly. Now you see, that's what's keeping us warm. It's a case of running down rapidly to keep the players warm.
Well, we don't actually see it there, but it looks like Pele's just put off Lescott jumping early into him. Everton getting the free kick. Or was it offside?
It was offside, wasn't it? Valente with a long ball forward. And it is going to be out of play, and it will be a throw-in, despite the best efforts of Moussa Dembele. Everton have a throw midway inside this Alkmaar half. Some familiar faces in the Everton lineup tonight, despite the fact that 1 or 2, in fact more than 1 or 2, have been rested. Here's Johnson trying to wrestle into position, and he has done well, and scores! Just over a minute played, and what a start for Everton! Well, Andy Johnson's 4th goal of the campaign, and Everton don't need to win, but they might as well do.
Well, it's great persistence, isn't it, by Johnson? and he gets underneath the centre half and makes it very, very difficult for him to clear the ball. It's all comes from the throw in into his feet. He's hassling and putting him off. Pienaar's backing him up. He picks the ball. All he does is hit the target. Gets a little bit of luck coming through Stenson's feet. A little bit of a nutmeg, but he hits the target. That's what he's good at. Keeper's a little bit wrong-footed. Doesn't expect it to go through the defender's legs. But it's a great start for Everton.
Well, it's a long journey, isn't it, that Everton and Andy Johnson have taken in this UEFA Cup ever since that opening game in this competition against Metalist. Remember Andy Johnson's nightmare that night when he was forced to retake penalty after penalty and he ended up missing a couple. And Everton, you wondered on that night whether they were going out of the competition, being held by the Ukrainian side, but they weathered that storm. Andy Johnson has found his confidence, and there they are on a night to enjoy and a night to celebrate already, having taken the initiative. Here's Vormer though for Alkmaar. Now Steinson. It's Lescott who is back, but heads it away for a corner kick. David Moyes is huddled up against the cold night, but he will have been warmed by the early action. It's going to be Pogagnoli who will take this corner kick. Stefan Wessels with one of those rare outings in the Everton goal, trying to make himself big. He half came and decided not to, but it's cleared away in the end by the Everton defence. And it's Johnson again who's trying to make a little bit of a nuisance of himself. Well played there by Ruud Vormer. Here's Dembele. Dembele looking wide left. It's a decent ball in as well, but headed away by Lescott. Still not thoroughly away. There's a chance for Opdam to deliver here, or maybe it'll come back to Pogagnoli. Out comes Wessels, just half gets a punch to it and lifted away from trouble. And Everton were having one or two concerns there.
It's a little bit too easy. AZ at the moment, they're putting too many crosses in. They're not making it hard enough for them, Everton, stopping that cross.
Here's McFadden. Ahead of him is Anachedi. McFadden now riding the challenge and doing well despite the efforts of Steinson. McFadden still going and went for goal, but boy, Vataman was equal to it in the AZ goal.
Well, you just wondered if McFadden goes down there, he's being pulled back by Stenson. And he just keeps going and keeps doing it, persevering, but you just wonder if he goes down, will he get something?
This is Choma. Now Opdam. Here's Vormer. Steinson. It's Dazieu. It's a decent ball in as well. Everton having to just keep their concentration. Carsley not for the first time tonight. He's there to nibble it away, but he's beaten well by Dembele. Back it comes to Choma. Choma trying to provide the tricky footwork. Forces it wide left. Pogagnoli with the ball in. High, too high. And Everton are able to watch it safely clear again.
Once again, it's another cross into the box. People not working hard enough to stop the crosses.
It is going to be a throw. Now Valente had a chance to clear, but a terrific start by Everton. If you are just arriving late to the game and switching on and noticing the scoreline and wondering what and how and who, it was Andy Johnson in only the second minute of the game, and here's Anachedi, who's going to be the hero in this UEFA Cup campaign as well. Johnson back to McFadden. One lightning run, but back to Valente. Here's Pienaar. Hibbert has made a bit of a foray forward here, but it's beaten to him by Pella. Robertson. Here's Lescott. A little earlier as well. There was a little bit of a skirmish amongst the supporters in the ground as well. We are investigating what went on there, but just to report, nothing serious, and certainly things have calmed down inside the ground if they were a little heavy earlier on in the piece. It's not the biggest ground here, 17,000 is the capacity. And there are only 12,000 Everton fans in here officially. Having been in Amsterdam and Alkmaar for the last 24 hours, we know that there are an awful lot more than 1,200 Everton fans here in Holland.
That's if they've got in.
As Dembele plays it left. It's up down that left-hand side. It's collected again by De Zeu, who feeds it in towards Pella, but well watched by Lescott, and Everton clear away once more. And I tell you what, I mean, from an Everton point of view and from a neutral point of view, that early goal really has given this game exactly what we need, because remember, Alkmaar have to win here tonight. They could still go through if the result between Larissa and Nuremberg goes their way, even if they lose here, but they'll want to win, and they want to be careful here as Valente puts it in. It's slid away by Yelians. The two results that do guarantee AZ a place in the final 32 is either that victory or a 4-4 draw, and we'd settle for that tonight, wouldn't we?
Well, it'd certainly keep us warmer.
There's Jagielka. This is Gravesen. Nice support from Pinar. Gravesen again, can't control, but Carsley's just behind. And a long way back to Stefan Wessels. Not having the best of seasons this season, AZ Alkmaar, coached as they are, of course, by Louis van Gaal, one of the greats of Dutch football over the last few years. The former Barca coach and Ajax coach when that club were in their pomp too. But they are struggling in the Eredivisie at the moment. They're 10th in the league. There was a question put to a rather prickly Van Gaal yesterday that if they lose here tonight and they go out of the UEFA Cup, would that be the end of their season? He put the questioner away rather efficiently, but it just shows the concerns that surround AZ at the moment. This is Hibbert. It's a chase down that right-hand side by Johnson, who again has skipped inside and plays up towards Anachebe. We know how strong he is in holding off central defenders, but he can't pick out a partner. And AZ clear. That's a good ball forward towards Choma, but he can't control, and Lescott's there. And all the way to Valente.
Once again, it's Lescott sweeping up, isn't it? Reading of the game at the moment is very, very good. In the right position at the right time.
There's Pinar. Interesting to see how many players have short sleeve shirts on here tonight, despite the temperatures. -2 at the start of the game. There's one forecast which suggests that it could be -7 by the end of the night. It's +1 for Everton at the moment. And here's the man who's given them that lead, Johnson. Oh, that's a good ball to Anachebe. He had to be offside, he was.
Oh, it's a great ball by Johnson. Unfortunately, Chibi's just strayed in offside position. Good play by the centre-back. He's just coming up at the right moment. He's close, touch and go. Well, I bet you these two centre-halves, Mendes and Gallans, haven't really been put under pressure week in, week out as much as they're going to be done tonight by Johnson and Chibi.
There's Gravesen. McFadden, Johnson. Hibbert plays it forward. Mendes de Silva. And he will pick it up again. Don't forget you can text us tonight. The usual piece of advice for you. Text the word comment, add your name, where you're from and your view. And the text number is 80088, and right on cue, he's sending us his thoughts. Hibbert. AZ looking to fire. Here's Steinsson. He's the Icelandic player that Kevin was telling you earlier that Middlesbrough were interested in the summer. And here he is again, the right back. Back to Yalians. Lifted forward but aimless. Here's De Silva. Young Dutch international David Mendes de Silva. Opdam. No way past Jagielka. And McFadden is fouled, and so it'll be a free kick for Everton. 10 yards inside their own half, and they're playing this game as though they really are enjoying the night. As well they might.
Well, there's no pressure on Everton tonight, and obviously what a great start that is. Johnson getting that goal, but it just shows you that McFadden, rich vein of form that he's in when he's playing his part. He's doing things that I certainly haven't seen in the last few years since he's been at Everton. Shows what a confidence player that he is.
There's Hibbert with a throw. They've played over 12 minutes already. It's rather aimless. It just drifts away from Thomas Gravesen. There is Louis van Gaal, the famous man, and wearing a bandage on his foot at the moment. He's broken his ankle 8 weeks ago in a sports day at the academy for charity. And we're told it was while he was pole vaulting, but you have a look at him and you doubt that story, don't you?
Some pole.
Here's Opdam. This is Choma. Forward towards Pella, the Italian. Little layoff by him, and a chance now for De Gea to have a look and have a shot, but couldn't really find his feet.
No opportunity there. Should be hitting the target at the very least, Choma. But really, they should be coming out of the defence, closing that down, leaving it to Carsley. I feel one of the centre-backs there should be coming out, closing him down, making it a little bit more difficult.
That's Hibbert's long ball forward, which is just putting a little bit of pressure on the Allianz, but he's dealt with that supremely well. It's Opdam now, the left-back, who just chips it forward again. Pella lays it on. It's been chased down by Dembele, who lifts it high. It should be Vessels, and is. It's a very comfortable catch for the goalkeeper. He's not avoiding his movement at the moment, is it, that broken ankle? He's obviously well on the way to recover it. A little sloppy by Pienaar, which has given Pella the chance to pick up possession again for AZ. Here's Choma again, working it left now. Aziu pushes it wide, where Opdam picks up position and strokes it in. Jagielka stoops to head away. Here's Pienaar. Now McFadden. Oh dear, that's a lunging challenge. Steinson out of position and making sure that the Everton break is going to break down right there.
I feel that Pienaar, the longer he's been at Everton, the stronger he's got, the more the feel of the game he's got, and certainly the better he's got.
And he wants to stay, doesn't he? He's made that clear. Oh, that's good defending, that's very good defending. Very stylish stuff from this AZ side. And Aziu, who's had a pretty ubiquitous role so far, has then spoiled it by giving it away. Here's McFadden. And Achebe to his right. Johnson's taking up position in the middle. McFadden still hanging back here too. We know what he can do from that distance, but it's back to Gravesen. Now Carsley. Gravesen, it's patient stuff here from Everton. On his first start, of course, tonight this season, Gravesen wide to Hibbert, whose ball in is a little disappointing, and Opdam is able to head away fairly clearly.
Oh, it's a great opportunity to put a good ball into the box.
Might be a corner here, yeah. Or better still, Johnson might nip in. Neither of those two things. But very untidy from AZ, who are putting themselves under an awful lot of pressure. That was a handball. Referee had a look, and then has given a free kick against Everton.
Well, it's one thing that AZ won't have been used to is the work rate of the forwards from Everton. You know, they're not giving them any chance. Once they get a chance of putting them under pressure, they're there. And, you know, they're feeling the pressure.
Well, we have two impressive cup records on the line here tonight, of course. Everton at the moment are on this impressive run away from home in cup competitions. 6 unbeaten away from home since last season. But more impressive still is AZ's home record in Europe, which we'll speak about in just a moment, because here's Steinson, who's just wondering what to do. Well, that's left well, it's an equaliser from Pella. The young Italian, Everton unpicked. Louis van Gaal forgets to play to the ankle. His side are back in ball. It's 1-1.
Well, Pella, it's a great finish by him. He really should be doing better in the heart of defence there. I don't think Jagielka's moved his body position quickly enough to get across, especially when Lescott comes out. Lescott just comes out, tries to read the ball, goes through. Jagielka's just caught the wrong side of Pella there. He does well to finish it. It's a lovely ball in, a little bit of a dummy, and there's Pella to finish it off. It's a great strike across the keeper's body.
I tell you what, this is a cracking game, isn't it?
Well, you just feel there's goals in it.
Oh.
You don't feel there's just going to be them 2 goals that we've seen.
Well, not the idea of a 4-4 has been unrealistic, but you never know. The record, by the way, that AZ have, this very proud record, is that they've gone 32 home games in Europe, unbeaten, never been beaten at home in European competition, 28 of those in the UEFA Cup. It is an unbelievable fortress that they have here, this tiny stadium, which has been rebuilt over the years. Flicked in by Valente. Well dealt with by Steins. Johnson's on the chase. Here's Daziu. McFadden. Now Hibbert. A little bit of room in which to play here at the moment. Everton congested in midfield, and that's back where it goes, and they lose possession. And the goal scorer Pele trying to look for something miraculous there, and finding only Vessels on the edge of his penalty area.
Pele looks a little bit of a threat. He's a giant of a man as well. Must be at least 6'4".
There's Carsley. Gravison has a look and sees that there are 3 in the middle, but he couldn't pick any of them out. It was Koulialians, former Sparta Prague man, who puts it out on that far side. There's Carsley again. Hibbert. Gently with a header on, but Koulialians will head it away. Steins. All the way back to his goalkeeper, Joma. Well, those are the scores. Those 32 home games, unbeaten over the years. 1 or 2 English clubs. Liverpool with the most recent. Ipswich, of course, played here. Well, not exactly here, but against AZ Alkmaar in that famous UEFA Cup final back in 1981. Here's trouble though. Away by Valente. Anachebi. Johnson wants it. Play back over Pinar. Just a little bit untidy, and Valente to shake things up to keep possession. McFadden, first touch, but picked off by Steinson. He's fouled.
Just giving the ball a little bit cheaply at Everton. We've got to retain possession a little bit longer. But, obviously then trying to win the ball back a bit too eagerly, giving away the foul. So, both teams playing a very attacking formation. But like you say, you just feel there's more goals in the game.
And it is again another rousing European night involving Everton. The atmosphere at various Goodison Park events this year has been terrific, but on the road as well. You think of places like Kharkiv and Nuremberg, and now here again in Alkmaar. The home crowd are really turning up the temperature a notch or 2. This is Vorma. It's Steinson with a little bit of space. Touch and turn by Daziu, but caught in possession by Lee Carsley. Knows how to play for a throw-in.
Well, they're just a bit stretched at the moment, the Everton midfield. They're playing a diamond system with Carsley sitting in front of the back 4, McFadden off the front 2, and then Gravison and Pinar either side. But Pinar and Gravison a little bit far away from Carsley. They've got to squeeze in a little bit more. You don't want people in the midfield area to be picking it up.
Oh, good ball by Steinson. Oh, and Vessels was very close. Well, certainly his foot was outside the penalty area, but the linesman was right in the right place.
Well, that's very, very close, because he's actually caught it and turned his body away. It's on the other side of the line. I'm not quite sure. Very close.
Losing a bit of their structure here, Everton. Alkmaar picking up the pieces again now through Steinson on this right-hand side. Carried across by Former. Dembele. Offside. Well, this linesman on this near side is not going to be entirely popular. Having decided that Vessels was not outside his penalty area, he has now given the offside decision to thwart another potential Alkmaar attack.
Well,
he was
definitely
quite clearly inside, wasn't he?
Definitely inside. Good decision by keeper Vessels. I actually thought he was going to head it. But there's a cold mist coming across that stadium.
Yeah,
in front of us, and you can feel it coming straight in here, hitting us.
Yeah, there you see, it's like a fret, isn't it? An icy fret that's hanging over the ground, and I tell you, it is -2 here, and even though we have the heaters, it is still very chilly where we're sitting, so goodness knows what it's like out on the pitch.
Well, apparently the pitch is 18 degrees or something.
Is it?
With the under-soil heating.
At least the toes are warm. Here's Anichebe with a chase. Might get there first, but he's not. He's going to be beaten to it. Vatterman did decently well in the end to clear that one away.
Well, midfield just a little bit too deep then. They haven't squeezed, especially when Anichebe's got that chance to close the keeper down. There's a poor pass. But it's a good work rate by Everton once again.
Chipped up towards Choma. Away by Jagielka. Collected by Vormer. Here's Steinson. Steinson with a little ball back inside for Vormer. Johnson's trying to track him down. And they're trying to play a little too sharp there, Alkmaar. And easily through for Vessels again.
And squeezing up that time, Everton. They've got to play one-touch football. It's got to be precise if it's going to come off.
It's worth underlining too here tonight, isn't it, that this is, I mean, some familiar faces, as we say, in the Everton side, but it is certainly by no means their first choice 11 tonight, and not the regular formation in which these players will be used to play. It is a bit of an experiment by David Moyes, and I suppose
they actually play this system. They actually play this system against Kharkov at home, and similar to this, shall we say, and it didn't come off on the night, did it?
No.
But I think what Dave will do, he'll learn things of what problems will come up against this system as well. Rather than what problems you can actually cause the opposition, is what problems the opposition will cause you.
Pogognoli claiming that he was caused too many problems by his opponents, but the referee's having none of that. There you see the bench for Everton tonight. It includes a 16-year-old Jack Rodwell, 19-year-old James Vaughan, who we know a little bit about, of course, John Irving, a 19-year-old, Darnie Vidersen's also 19, John Irving 19, John Ruddy's only 21, and Lukas Djupkovic is only 18. Paddy Boyle, at the age of 20, is one of the most experienced outfield players on that bench.
Must be a nice position as a manager to be in, isn't it? You've already qualified at this stage, and you can put youngsters on the bench to give them that little bit of experience.
If Rodwell comes on tonight at 16, he will be the youngest ever Everton player in Europe. He beats a record of over 42 years. Here's Johnson, deflected across as he tried to flick it over. Now Yalians will take it clear. Here's Choma. Jagielka's done well, really well. Peanut. Gravison, just trying to slide off the outside of his boot, I think, and miss hit.
It's well read by Lescott.
McFadden back to Valente. Little chip towards Johnson, who's trying to hold off the defender's attentions. A little bit of grabbing on his back. Valente with a ball across. Knocked away by Yalians.
Just once or twice Everton have got in good positions. Both full-backs, quality of the ball in the box has just not quite been there at the moment.
It's Karstic. Misplaced for Johnson. And Father Christmas is enjoying a night off before the hard work begins. Mendes da Silva. Steinson. Dembele inside to Former, who pushes it wider still out towards Barry Opdam on that left-hand side. Here's Former again. Now Steinson. McFadden quick to close him down. Mendes da Silva. Chasing it up towards Pele, but it didn't quite reach him, and hooked away. Still by Carsley. The back header is from Kuljelians, but he collected on the edge of his box by Boy Vatterman. It's hard to take really as an Englishman and a Welshman. We'll be seeing an awful lot of these players next summer, won't we? In Euro 2008. All these players in this Alkmaar side will be playing for Holland.
It's good tracking back by Anichibi. He's actually playing a little bit wider now on the right-hand side. McFadden playing on the left. Johnson being up front on his own. They're trying to cut out the full-backs, getting forward.
Here's Carsley. And Gravison. There was maybe trip, but either way the ball's been given away. Lescott though is able to clear, and I think the flag went up initially, but as it's going to fall to a man in red, the referee's going to say play on here. And still the noise is a good one inside this Alkmaar stadium. Here's Dembele. Choma. Back to Dembele. Here's a Belgian. And the Dane Gravison goes in with a very tough challenge. He doesn't quite win out, although Dembele looks as though he knows he's been in a challenge with Gravison, but the attack still remains. It was left by Pella, looking for Choma behind him. He couldn't connect. Vessels does.
A little bit unlucky. I don't think Choma actually read that.
Well, again, it's not entirely sure here. That looked like a handball. Referee says play on. Well done, McFadden. It's a good beefy game as well, this, isn't it? See plenty of challenges in the match.
AZ need to win. That's the main thing. That's what's made a game of it. They need to win. Dave Moyes obviously seen the problems that they're causing Everton with the two fullbacks getting forward, so he's put Anichibi on the right and McFadden on the left instead of playing that diamond anymore, just to stop them getting forward and having time and space on the ball.
Might fall for Johnson here, but it's cleared away by Opdam. Here's Valente. Here's Pina. That's going to be a free kick. The latest news, by the way, on the skirmish we saw at the start of the game, nothing to do with the Everton fans, we're told. And it wasn't anything really serious, it was just the items that were thrown onto the pitch that I think the stewards took some offence at, but it has to reiterate, all quieted down now. Free kick here, an interesting position. Gravison and Valente standing over it. Here is Gravison. Just tries to arc it in, and Lescott, I think he's offside, and it will be a free kick for the home side.
Well, he decides to put the ball into the far post area, but if he just picks out Pienaar, who'd made a great run into the box, an early run, unmarked, could have gone straight to his feet.
And don't forget plenty of Italian football as well here on 5. On Saturday you can catch all the highlights from last week's games. 11 AM is the time, 5 is the place to be. And then on Sunday, the Milan derby, Inter against AC Milan, 1:30 PM. Join Mark Chapman and Laura Oposto for what should be some thrilling action. There's one to look forward to from the San Siro. It's Valente who lifts it, but over the head of Johnson. Kicked on by Steinson. One by Pienaar. One well, so here's McFadden. Quite have the pace to get it on beyond the Allianz. There's Dezieu, Steinson, Jelliens. Well held up by Graziano Pella, and good chase here from Vormer, who tried to chip Vessels, who was caught a little flat-footed. I'm not sure if he judged that or not, but luckily for him the ball was over the crossbar.
It's a great time run by Vormer. He's left Carsley. I don't know if he's trying to chip in or just lift it over his head. It's a great opportunity, great run, great time run. Great ball to him.
And Everton have a throw. Here's Ockdown with a header. Missed in midair by Carsley. Collected though by Hibbert. And he's taken on the defender Polonoli, the midfielder, rather well. Gravesen. It's good to see the two bald-headed midfielders back in harness, isn't it, Gravesen and Carsley?
Thankfully one's wearing long sleeves, which helps us out a little bit.
And gloves, and the other's wearing short sleeves and no gloves, and I wonder who's got the bragging rights later tonight. I wonder who's got the frostbite. Here's McFadden. He does well up to the byline. Has it gone out? The linesman's watching it. Yes, it has. Eventually he does point his flag to that little quadrant. So another chance here for Everton to apply a little bit of pressure on this AZ Alkmaar goal. And Achebe, as you can see, up there, but he'll be joined in that aerial threat by Jagielka and Lescott. It's McFadden with a left foot. Johnson tried to stoop. Ockdown got ahead to it. Chased by Jagielka, but flicked away. And Lescott shows good pace. Here's Valente. Lescott looking forward. Achebe was surely wrestled down there by Jelliens, but the referee, with his beady eye on it, says play on. Easy one for Carsley to pick off. Over ambitious from Dembele, but back with Alkmaar and Jelliens. He'll be one of those at Euro 2008. Pienaar.
Game doesn't seem as open as it was maybe 10 minutes ago.
Hibbert hits it forward, but on the chest of Jelliens. This is Ockdown. Here's Vormer. 19 years of age, Ruud Vormer. He's one to watch. Already made his mark at youth international level for the Dutch. Mendes da Silva back to his goalkeeper boy Waterman, who's going to take on Achebe, and does so consummately well. And Ockdown brings it under control.
Everton quite happy just to let him have the ball at the back and play it around.
And when they do try to push it forward, it produces a ball like that, which again was pretty wasteful from the Icelandic. Greta Steinson. 17,000 inside this arena tonight. And they're hoping to more than double that size. Over 40,000 will be the capacity, they hope, within the next few years.
Well, obviously they've got to take the roof off for that to happen.
I hope they put it back on if there are more chilly nights like this. I think there's a bit of disquiet amongst the locals or whether 40,000 is needed for a club like this. Spotted by Gravesen. Here's McFadden. And Carsley is a real anchor in midfield. McFadden. And a scurrying run by him out to Valente. Valente's cross towards Johnson, who arrived almost unnoticed by the Alkmaar defence. Almost got in there.
Yeah, the ball's travelled a long way in the box, really. Hadn't missed the first man.
The break is swift though, and here comes Chona. Pella's ahead of him, but it's the square ball to Dembele. Pogognoli puts it high, and again it's a poor delivery.
Yeah, it was a poor delivery. No pressure on him as well. Graveson's got to work harder to get closer to the man.
Well, this is Andy Johnson's opener. Was there a question of handball there, do you think?
Well, maybe just come off his arm, didn't it? When he went to control it, come up off his arm, but it's still a great finish by the lad. He gets in a position. And their goal really carbon copy, really. Balls into the feet, turning, and then shooting at goal across the keeper's body.
With a name like Graziano Pella, you should be scoring goals, really, shouldn't you? Here's Johnson. Showing a good bit of strength, and a nice touch from Pina, who got the shot away. He was being tugged from behind, well spotted by the referee.
Fantastic skill. Ball coming into him, and Steinson just a little bit too close. Lovely touch in a way. There's a tug. Should have been a booking.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, why is that not a yellow card? The referee wants a new ball, no doubt in the cold air. It's lost a little bit of its pressure. I hope we're not over-emphasising the coldness of the night for the boys back home in their nice warm studio, but...
Well, I actually think, even though they got under-soil heating here, that it's just freezing a little bit. It's getting a little bit more bouncy of the ball.
Well, let's see if this one bounces into the back of the net. There's a bit of a discussion amongst the Everton players as to who's going to hit this. I think Gravesen has assumed authority, although McFadden is still hovering in the vicinity. It's a four-man wall. It's McFadden who hits it and just trying to curl it in cheekily at the far post, but Boy Vatterman, the Dutch goalkeeper, always had it well covered, didn't he?
It's bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, but at least the yard wide. With a bet on Gravesen trying to hit that, then no real power in the ball either.
Here's Vormer. Opdam pushes it, picks out Choma. Choma's watched by Jagielka, good ball inside. Oh, he's lost his man there, and Carsley getting in the way of the shot. Pogognoli might have been dazzled by the headlights. Hibbert wins the throw.
Well, that's a great touch as well, isn't it, by Pella? He's showing great touches in and around the box. Him and Choma working well together. They link up well. So certainly one to watch, but Everton making it a little bit easy for them, but allowing balls to come into the box from wide areas.
This is Johnson. Pino had made a run out left, but Johnson was never really in a position to comfortably get it away. Good defending again. Good attitude from the AZ defenders. No way through. Now Steinson has to go back to his goalkeeper, Vatterman. Johnson is on his case.
Everton have reverted back to the two centre forwards again. Obviously, Chibi and Johnson playing a little bit closer.
Vormer left to Opdam. Pogognoli made the run up that left flank. It was flicked towards the edge of the penalty area, dealt with. That was a crunch up. I don't like it. The locals were rather incensed, but Lee Carsley pointed straight at the ball as if to say, well, that's what you need to get, and that's what I got. This is Steinson. That's a touch and a turn by De Zeu. Turns it up left to Pogognoli. Hibbert tries to close him down. Pogognoli hunts the byline and hits it straight into Vessels, who was solid.
Well, that's where the problems are coming. Pogognoli's pulling out wide, and Hibbert doesn't know if to go tight or tuck in to help his centre back.
Jagielka. There's Johnson. Carsley wanted it and got it and played it, and Gravesen is chasing it. Not quite fast enough.
It's the right idea. Maybe just a little bit too much on the ball, obviously, but it's the right idea. Just the pace of the game's just gone off a little bit.
For all that, the half has gone quickly, hasn't it? We've reached the 40-minute mark and beyond. We're closing in on half-time. Still 1-1 that scoreline, of course. Again, if you are joining us late, Andy Johnson opening for Everton. Almost a perfect start in the second minute he struck. And Pella with an equaliser about 15 minutes later. Both of them good goals. Well, that's terrific play by Gravison. Here's Johnson, now McFadden. Johnson's made the run. It's chipped away by Yalians.
Just gets a little bit too close at times, McFadden. You know, one ball can beat two players.
Here's Chola, trying to close things down, but Gravison still has it. Oh, what was that? Well, it's a corner anyway. It's almost a swan dive, and it
was a block tackle with a head.
Oh. The linesman thought it was going to get a bit tasty, didn't he?
He tried to tackle him with his head. He really does. Gravison does really well, but I'm just wondering what he's... Well,
I think he slipped, didn't he?
He slipped on it, yes.
It's McFadden who will take this corner kick for Everton. Just over 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Johnson looking for the touch. It comes back to him here. Pulls it back. Lescott! Oh, is it in? It is now! No doubts. The header from Jagielka. He'll claim it. His first ever Everton goal. But whether it had crossed the line before, we'll have to wait and see. One thing is certain. Everton lead by 2 goals to 1. The only question is who did score?
Well, it's a great little play by, I think it's Johnson who gets in the near post area with it, trying to exploit on the last corner. Ball comes there to Lescott who hits it. Is it over? We don't know, but it is certainly when Jagielka gets there. It's a great follow-up. Great, he's picked out, Johnson's picked out Lescott really, really well. It hasn't gone over the line. Keeper gets a leg to it. Comes out to Jagielka. He's there to put the ball away.
So I think we can confirm it is his first Everton goal. Phil Jagielka, he scored a few flashes and blinders for Sheffield United in his time, didn't he? It was very much a scrambled effort to get his tally up and running in the colours of Everton.
Well, it must be something Everton have worked on to try and get into the near post area. They've only had 2 corners in this half, and both times Johnson's got a touch. He's not the biggest of players, and he's got a touch in the near post area.
Here's Hibbert. So it's been a really good half from Everton's point of view, leading here by 2 goals to 1. And it might get better as Anachebe stumbles, but it was his own clumsiness, according to the referee.
Just a little bit of inexperience there for Anachebe. Really should have come out and started again.
Well, the Turkish referee is demanding that the ball is still and not rolling before the goal kicks can be taken. David Moyes is discussing who knows what. Free kick Everton's way.
Jagielka just being pulled. Jumper.
1 minute stoppage time to be added. Here's Opdam. Choma turns it left. Pomagnoli picks up the pace, watched by Hibbert. And out for a throw.
That's where Hibbert does well, defending. He doesn't allow you to get across him when he gets close to you. But sometimes he just needs that little bit of help, which at times he doesn't get off Gravison.
So a throw in, it could be a dramatic finish to this half as well, as we're into stoppage time now. Over it comes, the header from Hibbert, but it's a foul throw.
Well, you don't see too many of them.
Well, his foot was up, according to the referee. You might as well just blow your whistle for half-time, ref, because...
I'm just wondering sometimes if maybe one of the Everton players actually mentioned that to the referee.
And I'm sure he's going to blow his whistle once Tony Hibbert has taken this throw, because we are now well beyond the 1 minute of stoppage. And indeed he does. It's half time. And Everton entirely satisfactory. It's a limp to the sidelines for Van Gaal. Good start from Everton's point of view. Andy Johnson in only the 2nd minute, but it's not how you start, sometimes it's how you finish. And Phil Jagielka with his first finish for Everton, finishing the half. So his side lead by 2 goals to 1 at half-time. It has been thoroughly satisfying from Everton's point of view. Well, no changes either side. That's the first thing to report at the start of the second half. It's still very cold, and we're going to keep mentioning that throughout the night as well, I'm sure. But what a great night for Everton so far tonight, Kevin. And they've deserved it, haven't they?
They have. They've been nice and resilient at times. I mean, Dave Moyes, obviously he's learning as his European campaign's going on. He's trying a few things tonight. Very attacking formation to start with. But then he pulls one of the strikers out wide, and McFadden from the middle out wide as well, just to block off the full-backs. And then he reverts back to 2 up front for a period of time. And he's just, you know, it must be nice for him that he can actually try things in this game. And like I say, he'll learn a lot from it.
One thing to observe as well, this frozen fret which has been blowing in across the ground, seems to be getting harder and harder at the moment, and he's actually blowing into the faces of the Everton players in this second half as well. So that's going to make life a little more difficult for them, you would have thought.
Yeah, but they've got that lead, and obviously certain players out there to prove a point that maybe they're worth a first team choice, and come Sunday a start for them. So they'll be looking, like I say, very positively at the game.
Well, Andy Johnson got it all started, and Phil Jagielka scoring just before the break. There's a big gong going off in the background to herald what we thought was the start of the second half, but the Turkish referee, who has been a little pernickety at times tonight, has decided that he wants to see that kick off again. And now we hear the gong again as well. They don't miss the opportunity. Long ball forward. It's being chased, but it's picked up instead by Ruud Vormer. He looked on this left-hand side to try and pick up Pogognoli, but sharp play by Hibbert, but it's gone out of play for an Azad throw. A reminder of the Everton lineup tonight, a reminder of the fact that 7 of the players who played at the weekend against West Ham have been left at home. Howard, Neville, Yobo, Arteta, Osman, Yakubu, Cahill. 1 or 2 of them obviously injured, but otherwise rested. And the Everton lineup instead contains very familiar names, but who haven't always had a chance for a first-team start this season. Most notably, perhaps, Thomas Gravesen, who's making his first-team start this season, on loan, of course, as he is from Celtic, his second period at Everton. Here's De Zieu. Out towards Vormer. Vormer wide left to Opdown. McFadden watches carefully as Vormer picks it up again. Now here's Yalians. David Mendes da Silva. Yalians. 10 Dutch caps to his name. Long ball forward, but over the head of Pella. Who's a big lad, but has been missed a few times tonight, hasn't he? With balls that have been a little too high for him. And an easy, simple take for Stefan Vessels. Slightly odd shape to the Everton side tonight as well. We were expecting a 4-4-2, but it's much more of a 4-3-3, or at least that's the way it started. McFadden just behind Victor Anachebi and Andy Johnson. 4-3-1-2, I suppose you would say. Here's Opdown. A little chip up towards the edge of the penalty area, and it's Whitler to Pogognoli. Back again to Choma. Pella tries to get himself in motion. Well, they're keeping it simply enough here, but they aren't able to deliver the telling ball at the moment. Choma has to go a long way back. Here's Yalians. And Yalians again, the skipper. Mendes da Silva. Jagielka almost got there, not quite. It's Opdown. Has a look and sees what's available. It's the run of Pella that he's gone for, but Lescott right across. got himself in front and heads it out for a throw-in, which is very quickly taken as well. They're trying to keep the tempo lively here. Remember, Alkmaar have to win as it's played in towards him. Oh, just a little bit of a juggle, but Vessels rather takes it.
It's getting a little bit too deep in the box, the Everton defence, when balls are coming in. Just a matter of a couple of yards. Just make it a little bit tighter, and if the ball does come in, it goes nice and free and easy to the keeper, Vessels.
Alkmaar have to win here tonight to confirm a place in the final 32. Reminder, Everton are through, and as group winners, whatever happens here, they can just enjoy themselves. But Alkmaar under a little bit of pressure here. The other game tonight is Larissa against Nuremberg in this group. That currently stands at 1-1, and if it stays that way, it's Nuremberg who will pip AZ to the final place in the knockout stages. So AZ need at least to do as well as Nuremberg tonight. So if that stays as a draw, and if AZ get a draw from this game, that would see the Dutch side through. But they'd feel much more comfortable, I'm sure, if they could win. And as we mentioned earlier, in the first half, a 4-4 draw would also take them through, regardless. And the way that first half went, you wouldn't necessarily discount that. Here's Pogognoli, and looking for the byline, and Hibbert again is doing a very good job down there at right back in blocking that cross.
Oh, he does really well, 1v1. Pogognoli is just having a little bit of joy down this right-hand side, receiving the ball.
Corner kick taken, and just a little bit messy at the near post, but it was Hibbert's head that got there. And a chance now for Johnson to bring it inside the AZ half. He's all by himself at the moment, and he's going to take them on by himself. Pogognoli's beaten, not for the second time. And here's a corner.
Oh, I thought it was a corner. AZ not too sure on that themselves, but I did feel that Andy Johnson's done really well. He's looking to pick out Pina around the back stick, who'd made a great run.
Well, an early goal here really would set Everton up, of course, and really would pile the pressure on AZ Alkmaar, and what a game we'd have after that, because they'd really have to chase things. Here is McFadden. It's a very good one this time, and it's just over the crossbar, off the head of Carsley.
Well, that's the first one that's been hit around the back stick, and just wondering if it's just a little bit under hit. Would Lescott have got to that? Carsley throws himself at it. You just wondered, would it have been a free kick? He had got a header on target.
Paul Vatterman will take this. He's very much first choice goalkeeper this year for AZ, but he was one of 5 keepers they used last year. Here's Pinot. McFadden. And now Hibbert. David Moyes just behind him, urging him forward, I think. But Hibbert goes backwards eventually, all the way to Stefan Vessels, who, by the way, stayed out through the half-time break. Chris Woods keeping him warm by putting him through his motions out on the field. Ball forward by Dembele, and almost shaken off Choma.
Just feeling Jagielka there, he's a standing and jumping, not aware the man's around him. Slightest touch and he's just put him off balance. Really needs to be coming onto them balls a little bit sooner.
Long ball by Vessels. Chipped back by Pogognoli. Headed by Jagielka. This is Dembele, who's showing a decent touch, and Steinson's made the run from right back to collect it in a decent position. A stretched leg, doesn't get it away. Carsley looked a little lazy there. Everton, though, do survive. There's Mendes de Silva. And now Steinson, and the noise again is just about as loud as it can be in this stadium. 17,000, and they are filling the rafters with atmosphere. De Zieu, wide to Steinson, back to Mendes de Silva, forward towards Choma. Lescott warily watches him, and Choma has to force it all the way back to Mendes de Silva again. They're keeping possession, but they're not hurting Everton just at the moment.
Well, Lescott does well, he forces him back, he doesn't let him turn. So important.
Good tracking back as well by Anichebe. good work from the forward to help his defence, and the result is a free kick. The frustrated Pomagnoli has given away the foul, and Everton are very satisfied with that little passage of play.
Well, they've got to be happy. I mean, there's not much room for Dave Moyes to make changes in the side with the youngsters on the bench. And, obviously it's a night, I feel, that the longer the game goes on, would you be trying to make changes? There's only so much you can do. I think that's been the biggest plus when he's got his full squad here. Then this year Everton haven't been able to make positive changes and change the flow of the game.
That's a good ball forward for the Zoo to chase. He's done well, but Vessels stood in the way of a very good ball towards Pella.
Vessels does well to pick this up because I think it just bounces before him. It's a good run by the Zoo. Oh, he's taken it early. I thought it actually bounced, but it didn't.
This is Hibbert for Everton, who face a big test, of course, at the weekend against Manchester United at Old Trafford. That's the reason why those 7 players have been left at home, of course. It's a huge Christmas schedule for this Everton side, who've got this run at the moment. It is 12 unbeaten. They haven't lost since the derby game against Liverpool back in October. 10 wins and 2 draws in all competitions, which is pretty impressive stuff. The pedigree of that will be tested over the next week or so. Manchester United away, and improving Bolton at Goodison on Boxing Day, and then Arsenal at home on the 29th, before they travel up to Middlesbrough for an away game on the first day of the new year. And if they're still unbeaten by January the 2nd...
Well, Dave, the thing is with it breeds confidence right the way through the club, not just with the first team, but every player at the football club. The first team are winning or they're unbeaten, and it breeds confidence right the way through it.
Here's McFadden's throw, and Achebe made the lead. Johnson was watching, it was headed away, and it will be cleared away here. Dembele just comfortably lifts it. Field from Hibbert. Connected by Choma. No way to go. Look how many Everton players have got back there.
Well, that's the thing. When things are going well, people are chasing back. The likes of Pina making it difficult.
Attempted solid challenge by Voller on Carsley, but it has been given away here. Here's Pella. Now Dembele. Dembele on the left foot forces it out towards Pomagnoli, the Belgian. Pomagnoli dummies Hibbert. Overcommitted, almost recovered. Pomagnoli gets it over, and Pina just about sees it out of play for a corner kick, but the pressure is building here.
Well, just a little bit of overconfidence. Ball given away by Hibbert originally. And really, they weren't punished. Just a little bit of overconfidence there.
Well, they're greeting this corner kick as though it offers them a route back into the UEFA Cup. Maybe it does. Over it swung, it's a teaser, and it was Victor Achebe who was at the far edge of the penalty area. Hasn't got it away. No, it is. It's put out by Barry Ogdown for a goal kick.
Great defending by Achebe.
Don't forget, you can get in touch with us via the text. Usual route, text the word comment, followed by your name and where you're from, and of course, most importantly, your view, to the usual number 80088. And I'm sure if you're an Everton fan at the moment, you are pretty delighted. Christmas round the corner, your side is doing very well here in the UEFA Cup Tour. Free kick for Azad. Why? Asks James McFadden. Because, says the referee. Here's Ogdown. Jagielka away. It's quite funny to see that little splashes of blue all around this ground, aren't there? There are only 1,200 official Everton tickets, but Evertonian fans, being Evertonians, have found a way in. And 1 or 2 unofficial routes as well. Here's Achebe, who's just labouring a little here, chasing back here, and it's picked up by Ogdown and cleared away. And Achebe is obviously suffering from an earlier pull.
It's the type of weather as well that you do get pulls in. And it's an important time just after the break. You're relatively warm. You should have been keeping warm at half time. You come out into the cold air again. It's one to keep an eye on. And I just wonder, does make a change. Obviously McFadden will be a replacement to go in there and maybe bring on one of the young kids in midfield.
And Achebe goes up and makes the challenge. Couldn't quite work it through for Johnson, but he's Pienaar. And left to Valente. Valente with the time now to just tee it up towards Johnson, but Mendes de Silva with a diving header away. Maybe a second opportunity for Valente, though it's worked on to Gravesen. Little tuck inside. Pienaar taking on Steinson. Lifted towards Achebe, who heads down. Johnson with a touch, keeper's there. Johnson again, keeper beaten, but somehow the defender David Mendes de Silva finds his feet, and Alkmaar are saved.
Well, I actually thought that Johnson reacted a little bit slow there. He always felt that Achebe was going to win that, but if you react a little bit quicker, I feel he got a better chance.
A little bit of a scuffle, a little bit of nonsense really, and the referee calls timeout and play on from the free kick. Tony Hibbert will take. Played short. Seems to have recovered now. Does Achebe. Not quite control, but it'll fall for Pienaar with a shot. Almost a second attempt. Here's McFadden. Couldn't quite find a way through. Valente. Pressure remains. Good flick from McFadden. It's Johnson who was looking for the turn. And Achebe, that was rash, very rash from Former, and quite clearly a free kick.
Well, Everton causing them all sorts of problems in the box. Pienaar with a great strike, maybe hit it too well, comes straight, it's a great ball in by Hibbert, comes out to Pienaar, hits a terrific ball straight at the keeper, can't react quick enough for the second ball coming out. So he's just hit it too well, too straight, either side of the keeper, you feel that's a goal.
Boy, Vatterman is trying to organise his wall, and the body language suggests that Lee Carsley is going to take control of this situation. One goal this season, of course, but when he scores, he usually threatens to break the back of the net. And it's not the range at this time.
Well, quite surprised, really. They've had 2 free kicks on the edge of the box. McFadden's taken one and Carsley the other. And Gravesen's over it. You think he would be the better man equipped to do the job.
A little bit of a bobble there as Ockdam tried to play it long downfield, and the flag was up anyway fairly early against Simon Chona, who was offside. If any side are going to last the pace, the better. You would expect it to be AZ Alkmaar tonight, because they come into this relatively fresh. Their last game in the Eredivisie last weekend was actually called off, postponed, and they should have been playing against Feyenoord, but a police strike meant that the game had to be cancelled, so they've had a week off.
I just feel as if the game goes longer and longer and stays like this, they've got to take chances, Alkmaar, and just wondering if that'll leave a few holes, especially for Johnson to maybe exploit and capitalise on.
And Achebe back to Hibbert, long towards Johnson, who's making a little darting movement at the edge of the box, but solid clearance by Mendes de Silva.
Everton just got control of the game at the moment. They're not imposing themselves on the game, Alkmaar.
There's McFadden. Gravesen. It's a long way back. Povagnoli. Carsley again darting back into the thick of the action, and Hibbert hits it long, and a real tussle and a tangle.
He's been pulled down there. I mean, I can't believe he's got away with it again. Or is he going to get away with it again? Jallins.
Quickly taken. And Achebe trying to use that strength of his. Down he goes. Play on. We're going to see a substitution as well shortly from Azad. Julian Jenner's getting ready for action down below, but meantime his side are attacking with Steinson, the right back. Here's Vorma. Dembele. Now Pogognoli. Having a run at Hibbert. On the right foot, maybe not his best, but it was a decent strike. Jagielka half claimed for a handball. Referee says he was right there, could see it, and never in a million years was it a penalty. Here's Vorma. Mendes da Silva. Didn't know where the ball was for a moment. Vatterman. Pelle's header. James Vaughan is perhaps readying himself. In fact, it looks as though Everton could be making a double substitution here. James Vaughan and Bjarne Widersen look to be favourites to be coming on for Everton very shortly. Meanwhile, Pogognoli again. Has he got the better of him at this time? No, he hasn't, but it's an attempted shot by Desue that's been away for a corner kick, and it is Demi Desue's last action of the game as well, because he is going to be brought off here. It's a double substitution from Alkmaar. Demi Desue runs away, and Julian Jenner will replace him. He's a young forward is Julian Jenner, a recent under-21 international as well. And before this corner kick's taken, I'm not sure if we're going to see another substitution. No, we're not. The referee says not time. Here we go. Corner kick taken. Jenner takes it, heads it. Oh! Vessels is beaten, and he had no idea what was happening. It was somehow sneaked in by Kyrielians, the skipper, and it was almost as if Stefan Vessels wasn't ready for the corner.
Well, Everton getting punished for not having anybody on the back post. You'd think that he put somebody on the back post and not the near post. He just gets ahead. If there's a man on the post, he clears it. It's a great jump. He just out jumps there. Lescott, it's not really a jump in, it's just out muscled. A little bit of a hand on. Do you get him, do you not? If there's a man on the post, he clears that ball.
20 minutes of the second half played, it's game on again. AZ 2, Everton 2. Kyrielians, the goal scorer. Alkmaar have made their second substitution as well. Simon Choma has gone off. Listen to the noise now, by the way. Munir Al-Hamdoui is the man who's come on in his stead.
Bomber's just gone down, and what you thought was poleaxed by McFadden. Rolled over, but as soon as it wasn't given, he jumped back up.
Well, these are hair-raising moments at the moment for Everton. It's trying to hang on. The atmosphere is fantastic. And Azad certainly have a good deal of momentum built up now. Munir Al-Hamdoui, of course, will be relatively well known to English football fans. He had a spell at Spurs. He didn't make any senior appearances, but he did go on loan at Derby, where he played 6 games for that club before moving to Villentoué, and then in the summer here to AZ. A little bit of a misunderstanding there, but Vatterman in the end is able to clear away. Here is El-Hamdoui, and now it's Dembele who takes it on. There's a real frenetic feel to the game at the moment as Jana puts it in. Lescott heads away. Confirmed the other sub was, of course, Julian Jenner, and his first touch is a corner that produced the goal. Here comes Everton's response. Andy Johnson is coming off, and James Vaughan, the young wonder kid, is the man who replaces him. And Bjarne Vidarsson is going to be coming on as well here. And it looks like Stephen Pienaar is the man who's going to replace. That is the case. And he doesn't look entirely happy to be coming off, does he?
I think there'll be two players off that'll maybe be featured in Sunday against Manchester United. That's why he's done it.
First ever appearance, his Everton debut tonight, Bjarne Vidarsson. And we are looking at very much the future, you would have thought, of Everton's strike force at the moment. Anachabi and James Vaughan, the two of them in harness. Both subs, by the way, are not lingering. They've gone up the tunnel to the changing rooms. On a cold night like this, what's the point of sitting on the sidelines? You might as well keep yourself warm. Especially with Manchester United, as you mentioned, coming up at the weekend. Here's Jenner, already had an influence. It's pushed right across towards Pogognoni, who's got space. Hibbert's there. And he's hanging on. Pogognoni does well to get it over in the end, but it's an easy take for Vessels.
Well, it's a great cross by Pogognoni, but he's causing problems. He's just hanging out here on the left-hand side. And he's looking, I mean, okay, Hibbert's doing really, really well, but he's so exposed on this side. He needs a little bit more help. I think that Gravesen can maybe just pull off a little bit, play in between, maybe make that ball a little bit more difficult to get to Pogognoni. And then by the time he does get it, maybe that Gravesen can get there first.
Well, David Moyes has talked excitedly, hasn't he, about the two young strikers, Vaughan and Anachabi, and what a future they represent. And here they are tonight, the two 19-year-olds in harness, at least for the rest of the game. But it's at the back that Everton need to be sharp at the moment, because they are being put under a lot of pressure here, aren't they? Claims that was a back pass.
Just come off of Hibbert. I don't think it was a back pass, not intentionally anyway.
Here's Hibbert with a header. Won by Carsley, but after a push on El Hamdoui.
Just taking the game to Everton a little bit more. That goal's really ignited them a little bit. Just give them that little bit more of a fight.
Well, they have been a pleasure to watch this season in Europe, haven't they, Everton, for one reason or another. There's never a dull moment watching Everton in the UEFA Cup. And so it carries on tonight. 4 goals already in this game, and the threat, or the promise I should say, of more to come. Here's Okdam being forced back inside his own half and gives it away rather wastefully. Gravesen takes his time, aims towards Vaughan, doesn't quite reach him. And the Icelandic right back, Greta Stensson, back to Vatanen, who shows a bit of flair. Vaughan goes after him. The keeper clears away. El Hamdoui. Jenner down that right-hand side, touched on again by Pella. They're flowing at the moment, but then it flows back towards Vessels. It was a back pass, so it has to be booted away. El Hamdoui. Stensson still up there trying to press. It's Jenner. El Hamdoui. Right across. And right back where it came from.
Well, he's got a tremendous cross in there. Something out of nothing. He's going to be running out of play. Suddenly Jenner's changed the course of the game, I feel, since he's come on. Terrific cross there. Nobody gambling around the back stick.
There's a vibrancy and a brightness to both their subs, isn't there? Julian Jenner and Rune El Hamdoui. They're certainly offering a bit of vivacity to the AZ cause.
Well, you just feel that maybe it was lacking. It was okay down the left-hand side for AZ, but down the right-hand side they weren't causing Everton any problems, but they are at the moment.
Mendes da Silva, here's Vorma. Okdam. And ball. Right, there were a couple of claims to handball in there, but
Hibbett's done really well, 1v1s. A very good defender. Gravison helping out there, coming back, and maybe needs to do a little bit more of that at times, Gravison, but Hibbett for me, good defender.
He does get a bit of stick at times from Everton fans, doesn't he, Tony Hibbett? Nothing that Vaughan could do about that. But Tony Hibbett was very much the class of '98, wasn't he? FA Youth Cup finalist and all of that. Player who's come through the ranks. Just out of play off Carsley. With the news we had from Greece, by the way, Larissa and Nuremberg drawing 1-1. So if that stays the way that is, oh my word, Anachabi could be in trouble here. I hope he hasn't seen it. Anachabi and Yalians had a real wrestle there, and it seemed unnecessary.
I think Mendes was just stepping in front of his line, and
meantime, Azed unable to penetrate. Away by Valente. Here's Anachabi. Going forward by Venison. The news from Greece now is that Nuremberg are winning, leading by 2-1 against Larissa, so suddenly the draw isn't good enough for AZ. And I'm sure they'll have started the night assuming that it was a win at all costs like this, because Larissa, albeit that they put Blackburn out of the UEFA Cup, which I'm sure Blackburn fans will remember with a bit of a grimace, they have failed to fire in the group stages. They haven't got a point to their name so far. 3 games, 3 defeats. So Nuremberg were always going to be favourites to win there. This is Steinson. De Silva, Mendes de Silva. Little touch on for El Hamdoui. Back to Mendes de Silva. Careful, clever stuff. El Hamdoui plays it up, gets it back again off Pele. Just tried to down it into the penalty area. Pele wasn't quite close enough.
Well, I just feel that Hibbett's just maybe over-covering at times, and maybe Jagielka should be taking control in there. And if that ball does get played wide, a little one-touch ball, then Everton a little bit stretched at the back.
Zeta preparing to make another change as well. Pogognoli, I think, is going to have to give way, because Kemi Agustin is getting ready to play his part in what is going to be a thunderous finale here.
Well, for the amount of ball that Pogognoli's had, he's not really caused Everton any problems, has he, with balls in?
Well, here we go. And there's the ball in, and true to form, it drifts right across the face of where it should have been. And out for a goal kick.
Well, that's the first time he's put a ball in without trying to beat Hibbett.
It's now 3-1, by the way, for Nuremberg against Larissa, so no doubts there about what the result will be. Nuremberg are going to win it. And if they do win, and as they fail to win here, then it will be second spot for Nuremberg. They would pip Zenit St. Petersburg, who currently lie second. And there's a substitution, by the way. Kemi Agustin coming on, and Sebastian Pogognoli, the Belgian, has gone off. So Louis van Gaal, that master tactician, has made all his changes now. Hibbett got there, but maybe the blink of an eye too late. And he gets a yellow card for his pains, or at least for El Hamdoui's pains.
See some of the tackles that have gone in, or fouls in and around the box, and they've not been punished, and Hibbett gets punished for that. Didn't think there was going to be a booking tonight.
Agustin's going to take this. AZ Alkmaar will be throwing all the cavalry forward now. They need a win. It remains 2-2 for the moment, cleared by Hibbert. A little slip by Anichebe, which tells you a little about conditions underfoot here tonight. Getting worse. Oh, Lescott. I'm not sure we knew too much about that, but it hit his chest, according to the ref. Forward by Gravison. Here's an opportunity now for Vaughan. Anichebe is wide right and unmarked, but Vaughan can't find him and can't get past Vormer. And he was chopped down. Referee says play on. And it was a frustrating moment there for James Vaughan.
He's a little bit more composed there and keeps control of the ball. Widdowson has made a great run to support him.
Anichebe looking for the cross. Happy to let it roll out of play. We're going to see a little bit of history made here as well. Jack Rodwell, 16 years of age, is about to become Everton's youngest ever player in Europe. He beats a record of over 40-odd years held by Jimmy Husband, 18 years and 32 days when he made his Everton debut in European competition. Well, Jack Rodwell is only 16. Here's Anichebe, good ball in, and Vaughan now on the left foot, lifts it past the keeper who's beaten. James Vaughan scores in Europe. Everton lead by 3 goals to 2. What a campaign this is.
Well, what a terrific ball by Anichebe. An absolutely tremendous ball to pick him out. I mean, he's just got a touch on it and knocked it past the keeper. I think he's actually wrong-footed the keeper. Anichebe comes off, picks it up, he's got time on it to pick him out. And there's Vaughan, he just gets out. I think he takes it really early, and that's what's caught the keeper a little bit. Terrific ball by Anichebe. Just a touch, knocks it past him. Thought the keeper could have done better. There's no pace on the ball. He's hurrying to get it, but no, John, that should be game, set and match.
Well, it's Thomas Gravison who's coming off as we see that goal again. It was a frustrating moment for the referee, for the goalkeeper, wasn't it? Boy Vatterman. And there we see the youngster takes his bow. 16 years of age. What were you doing when you were 16? Well, that young man is making his European bow and making his Everton bow as well. A debut for Jack Rodwell.
He's usually the centre-back, but they've brought him up on the right-hand side of midfield instead of Gravison. I'm sure he'll be coming on as a defensive midfield player, just to protect that lead that Everton have got now. Obviously a great honour for the lad, 16 years of age.
That's a yellow card for Stefan Wessels for time wasting. There's a danger the Turkish referee is going to start getting a little card happy here in the closing stages of this game. But as it stands, the most impressive home record in Europe is about to topple. AZ Alkmaar, never lost at home in any European competition, are trailing here by 3 goals to 2.
Well, Anichebe can't get involved here.
Vaughan
It's the second time he's been involved, and there's no need for it.
There's a bit of finger pointing still, isn't there? If it stays like this as well, AZ going out. Here's Rodwell. Comfortable for Aberdeen, 3-0. They are leading at the moment, so they are going through. So the British representation in tomorrow's draw in Nyon is looking pretty impressive. I'll tell you about that in just a moment, but here comes the cross as AZ search for a route back. And somehow Everton are able to clear it away. Bolton, Spurs and Everton. Bolton through as a result of results last night. They didn't play, but Bayern Munich and Braga did a job for them. So Bolton are through as a third place finishing side. Spurs are through. Everton, of course, we already know through. Rangers dropping in as a result of their failed campaign in the Champions League. And Aberdeen are through as well. So 5 British clubs in the draw, which takes place at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Scott chips away.
Just seen Hibbert sort of struggling a little bit there, taking his time getting back. I don't know if he's hurt himself just going into that tackle then. Might be worthwhile maybe if he is struggling to maybe swap with Rodwell. He's certainly feeling a little bit there. Looks like a thigh problem he's got. I don't know if it's a bang on the thigh. A little bit of tweak that he's feeling there.
It's going to be Valente here who takes this free kick, chipped up towards Vaughan. Rodwell did well under pressure from Kenny Augustine.
Showed good strength for a 16-year-old. Getting his body in front, making it difficult.
He made his debut for the under-18s, by the way, when he was only 14 years of age. He's a Birkdale-born lad, is Jack Rodwell. He's currently the England schools and the under-16s captain. So he has a maturity that belies his years. And they do think very highly of him in the Goodison environments. It's now 4-0 for Aberdeen, by the way. It's getting easier and easier for them. And Dewey puts it through, he's onside, and what a miss! Kemi Agustine had only the goalkeeper to beat. Surely it needed his left foot.
Agustine's found there, and Rodwell's let him go. He's touch and go. Is he offside? No, he isn't. He's level. And they've got away with it, Everton, trying to play the offside trap. Well, really should be doing better. Tries to hit it with the outside of his foot.
5.5 minutes left to play. It's been a high-octane UEFA Cup campaign for Everton, and it shows no signs of settling down. And they have a free kick here, which could make life even easier.
Hibbett just having a word with physio there. With your Rathbone, just to tell him what the problem is.
I suspect James McFadden fancies a dip here. Here comes McFadden off the left foot, and enough to test the goalkeeper, but Batterman more than equal to it.
He hits it a little bit better than he did in the first half.
Ascott's header chipped away by Jagielka, but still a little bit of job to be done here, although Agustine can't keep it in play. Out by Jagielka. Mendes de Silva is pushing further forward here now, and Jenner out to Steinson. There's David Mendes de Silva once more. And Hamdoui looking for a position in which he might shoot, and in the end he impatiently tried to have a rattle when it wasn't really on.
They did do well initially, but the Everton defence being very resilient and holding the ground, which is so important.
Here's Anachebe, header and a push and a run, and Yelian's trying to keep up with him, and Anachebe has to have a second nibble. Just behind him is Rodwell. And he's not going to reach him because Mendes de Silva and Yelian's together mug him in the corner. This is Hibbett. Free kick against McFadden.
He's put Alkmaar under a lot of pressure there, McFadden, not making it easy, and they've not had an easy ride tonight. Alkmaar, Everton have worked tirelessly in the front two, McFadden in midfield, right the way through the side.
There's Mounir El Hamdoui. Touch inside for Dembele. Has to play it backwards though, and now it's taken on by Mendes de Silva, who from a long way out went. Vessel's just got behind it, and again to deny Graziano Pella. And cleared.
Well, he does well to react to that, because they've got another chance. Disappointing that he spills it. I think it moved at the last minute.
Here's Vormer. Elhamdoui. Opdam. Hanging and hopeful, but again, despite his height, Luciano Pella can't really make any great effect in there. There's Jenna, who's peeled off. Watched closely by Valente. And again, it's one that's been asked to stretch for, as Pella unable to put it back in with any real interest into the penalty area. Everton clear again. They're under a bit of pressure here.
Well, once again, they're a little bit deep when the ball comes back in. Here's the strike. Vessels gets two hands onto it and then reacts to the second ball when he spills it.
Well, the home fans haven't quite given up yet. They're still trying to rouse their side, but the reality of the situation is that AZ need 2 goals in this last minute and a bit plus stoppage time if they are going to find a way back into the UEFA Cup this season.
Jelka's done well there. He's read that situation. Ball over the top. Gets in position early.
There's a long throw. Lescott heads away. And Achebe was desperately trying to get back on side, but he was never going to do it.
They're leaving him 1v1. Jallins, and it's easy sometimes for the defender there.
Here's McFadden. Achebe. Chipped on towards Vaughan. Collected nicely. McFadden's in the middle. It's played towards him, but only just towards him. And the reach by Wiedersen is going to put it out for a goal kick. 3 minutes of stoppage time to be added at the end of the 90. I'm not sure the board was working, but it is 3 minutes of stoppage time to be added. And Everton fans can simply enjoy this, as I'm sure they've enjoyed the whole of the 90 minutes so far. An entertaining night by their side yet again in the UEFA Cup. They've done it in 3s for the 3rd time. 3 goals against Metalist in the second leg, 3 goals against Larissa at home at Goodison. 3 goals here tonight against
Alkmaar. I think what they've enjoyed, Dave, is that the commitment that they put in the game. You know, with the side that Dave Moyes, it's not the strongest side that he's brought over, but the commitment from every single one of the players has been top class.
Well, they wouldn't want to concede here, as the ball is over, and it is over by a distance. Just again to reiterate the fact that this has been an absolute fortress, this ground, over the last
then they've looked quite vulnerable tonight, haven't they? I mean, that's down to Everton, the way they've closed them down and made a game of it. You know, already qualified, and then the way they've come out attacking mine. Okay, the pressure's off them, but they've caused them most of the problems, especially up front.
Everton are going to be the first side ever to beat Alkmaar at home in the European competition. Here's Achebe with a shot, which Letterman can just hang his hands out at and easily save. But no side has ever won here in European competition until tonight. And that is a very good achievement by David Moyes' side, who have grown considerably in this UEFA Cup campaign. You remember their first game against Metalist, the problems they had and how they came through it, and how they've dealt with everything so far. It's Pella trying to turn, and it's Vessels who's right at the back of it, connecting safely again.
And once again, it's a little bit too easy. The ball's rolled into feet because the Everton defenders have just stayed in a little bit deep.
He's onside.
It's a great run by McFadden.
Good header by Carsley, who's still doing that important job at half midfield. This is Elhamdoui. The locals are leaving now. They've given it up. Augustine. That's a poor ball by him. And Jenna hangs his head.
Well, 2 full-backs for Everton have been excellent tonight, as well as the 2 centre-backs. Tucking in, helping the centre-backs by just being in the right place. Ball's coming into the box, body position's good. Excellent display right the way through the side.
Opta. Here's El Hamdoui, little flick in again, and once more Hibbert doing a terrific job, just getting in the way of Mendes de Silva. And making life a little easier for Stefan Wessels in the Everton goal. That is it, full time. Well, the old guard might have been left at home, but it is Moyes' boys who've done the job tonight. James Vaughan with a winning goal in the end. On from the bench, 3-2. What a night to remember. Not only for him, but Bjarne Widersen and Jack Rodwell making their debuts too. And this very, very proud home record from AZ Alkmaar is finally over. 32 European games here, unbeaten. Tonight they have been unpicked by a very good Everton side. 3-2, Everton have won. This wonderful, wonderful UEFA adventure just goes on and on. And David Moyes is more than making his mark in Europe. Well done Everton tonight, AZ 2, Everton 3.